Welcome to the Intentional Excellence podcast. I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a keynote speaker, aspiring author, podcast and live show host, educator, and entrepreneur. This podcast is all about taking intentional steps toward personal and professional excellence. And I'm so excited to have everyone here. Today, we're diving into a special series called Solo and Strong, Thriving as a Single Parent. This series is deeply personal to me because as a widow and a single parent, I understand the challenges, the resilience it takes, and the growth that comes from facing life head on. We'll be speaking with incredible individuals who embody strength, transformation, and purpose. And today's guest is no exception. And I'm thrilled to introduce Sophia Lorraine. She's a self love and confidence coach, belief coding facilitator, and hypnotherapist from the UK. She's also an aspiring author. Sophia Lorraine helps women break free from self doubt, rebuild their confidence, and reclaim their power after life's toughest challenges. Whether it's divorce, toxic relationships, or feeling stuck in a cycle of low self worth. And as a self love and confidence coach, hypnotherapist, and belief coding facilitator, she guides her clients through deep subconscious reprogramming to release limiting beliefs, overcome self sabotage, and step into their most confident, empowered self. So, to my guests, please help me welcome our incredible guest, Sophia, to the show. Hi, Sophia.
Hiya, thank you for having me here. I'm super excited.
Yes, how are you? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Just come back from a dance workshop, so yeah, it's been an exciting morning, exciting day. So,
What's your favorite dance kind? Like do you do like ballet, hip hop? What I just curious. Like
so
what do you like?
me and my children have a street dancing business. So,
Oh my goodness. I would love to feature that if you have like a video that I can show when I publish this. That would be
yeah.
awesome. That
So
would be
the
awesome.
coaching business is something that I love doing for myself and with the women I help, and then the dance is something I do with my children. So
Wow. I love that. I love that. And how many children do you have?
three. So
Oh, me
two,
too. Three is a
oh,
good number.
two teenage
Sophia.
girls and a boy. So
Oh, nice. Sophia, do you want to add anything to what I already said, or
no,
was I able to like introduce you well to the
yeah,
audience?
no, that was great. Thank you.
All right. So let's dive in. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Sophia, you first of all, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you, and I know it's so hard with the time difference. We both have to adjust. Thank you for being flexible.
you're welcome.
Right, Sophia. So let's talk about resilience because resilience is really big when it comes to my podcast. And I know that you specialize in helping women reclaim their power after facing hardships like divorce, toxic relationships, and low self worth. Resilience, I believe, is a key factor in overcoming these struggles. Now, from your experience, what do you think are the most critical steps in building resilience after experiencing deep emotional wounds?
Yeah, so absolutely, resilience is key because it's not about just coming back from the traumas or experiences that you've made, but it's about rising and growing and building on that strength so that when you face challenges in the future, it doesn't define you and it doesn't knock you right back down from where you were once before. So, building resilience, you need to have that self-awareness and acceptance and noticing that there's certain things you need to heal in order
Right,
to move forwards, and being allowed to acknowledge your pain and work through it rather than suppress it, because we've been taught for so long or all our lives to just suppress
right,
emotions, or when we've tried showing emotion as a child, we're not like been spoken to right or been allowed to express that, so then through into our adulthood we suppress those emotions, which then um, we get trapped emotions in our energetic field and in our body, and it makes us like contract, and that
right.
that limits, then we then feel limited as to what we can do. So recognizing our emotions and working on them. And also, when you are suppressing all these negative emotions, that also can manifests into anxiety, depression, and even physical, like serious illnesses. So
Right.
it's really important that we work on those emotions and not suppress them
Right.
and release them from your body. And we do that by looking at our limiting beliefs and rewriting our limiting beliefs and tracing where the trapped emotions first originated from.
Right.
Um, and so, yeah, so for me, when I first came out of my marriage, my ex-husband, the very same week, I think it was, got with somebody else. And that kind of made me feel like, oh, well, if he's met somebody, I need to hurry up and meet somebody. Like, rather
Yes.
than work on myself, I just thought I should do what he was doing. So I got with someone very quickly, but
Okay.
we formed a relationship based on our past traumas. Like, we have
Right.
shared similar upbringings, we've come from similar experiences in our relationships, which then meant our relationship, even though he was a lovely guy, but neither of us had healed from our past relationships or our
Right.
childhood. So we were very often triggering each other. Um, and then after a year, it was a long distance relationship. And after a year of that, something happened with my ex husband again, which
Okay.
I go into in my book, but it led me to a deep, deep place of trauma. I basically had one of the children removed from my care by him, and
Oh, wow. I'm
it,
sorry.
it was it was a foster daughter. And that really sent me into a deep state of depression. So I ended the relationship that I was in, and then I really had a wake up call that I had a lot of emotions that I needed to heal in order
Right.
to move forwards. So I put it out to the universe that I was ready for this
Right.
healing. And within a couple of weeks, I came across something online that talked about our subconscious and our limiting beliefs, which then causes our anxiety and our depression. Um, so yeah, for me, that was really transformative of doing that work and processing and healing my emotions before I could go on to maybe that new relationship or
Right.
and to find happiness. And then also, when you are looking to build resilience, it's important that you create a vision of your future life.
Right.
Some people, when they've experienced trauma or coming out of a relationship, they don't even know what they want their future to look like. And so you just stay in this rat race of staying in a job or another relationship that you're unhappy with. So it's super important to get clear on what vision you want for your future.
Right.
Um, so often we can play the same cycles in our head from things about the past, but we don't
Right.
allow ourselves any time to think about what we want in our future. So getting really clear on what you want your future life to look like is super important. And then that means when you do have challenges and setbacks come in your path again,
Right.
you can then decide whether how much energy you're going to focus on that. Are you going to focus all your energy on this challenge and setback, or are you going to focus on the vision that you've set yourself? And
Right.
once you
Right.
have that vision, it's like your driving force to move forwards. And then also, you still need to be aware of the limiting beliefs that come up when you
Yes.
create that vision. But we'll go deeper into that in a little bit. And then another key thing with building resilience is having the right support system around
Right.
you. So for me, having a mentor or a coach has been like so transformative. Like, often we're so scared to invest in ourselves. But for me, it's been the best thing I did since leaving
Yeah.
my marriage, is to invest in myself. When I first came out of my marriage, I was investing in the wrong things, like, makeup, new clothes, but all these external things that don't actually fit me
Right.
on the inside. So,
Yes.
and when you have got a coach or a mentor, when you do have those setbacks, you've got somebody to discuss that with and help you move forwards when you do get stuck again.
Right.
So yeah, those are my key points when it comes to building on resilience.
There are so many things that I want to react because you said so many powerful strategies or powerful ways to overcome whatever grief or whatever difficulties you're having when you reach that defining moment. First of all, nobody plans to have a defining moment in our lives,
Right.
right? Like I didn't plan to be a widow. It was all sudden. You didn't plan to, have like a separation with your husband or whatever. But the thing is, those limiting beliefs. So if we have those limiting beliefs even prior to reaching that defining moment, what happens is when we have that defining moment, boom, it's just we are already at the stage wherein everything just crumbles difficult because we weren't ready for that defining moment. So I feel that when you talked about defining limiting belief, just yesterday was Saturday, I had a short video message exactly what you just talked about limiting belief, because limiting belief really stops us from being true to ourselves, for finding our genuine self, and it really stops us for becoming a better person or a better worker, a better mom, or a better partner. So I feel like it's really necessary to work on our limiting belief now, starting now, after you hear it from Sophia and myself, so that when you have that defining moment in your life, it's not going to be so hard,
Yeah.
right? Because like when things happen to you, suddenly everything starts piling up. Then you're at a loss. Then you have your self doubt. Then you have poor self confidence because you weren't able to work on yourself right now. So, you know what I mean? So, which happened to me. Like, I became a widow also suddenly, and I wasn't ready. And I did have my limiting beliefs at that time. Like, can I be? What were my limiting beliefs? Can I do this alone? How else, like, can I work on our finances while still maintaining our lifestyle? We know, but because things will change, can I be there for my kids, and play dual roles? So I had so much doubt. I had so much limiting belief that, for a while, a few months, I was really on a really deep reflection. I was a little, depressed and anxious until all of a sudden I found myself again and was able to, my grief turned into healing. I was able to heal then. And you did talk about healing, meaning you talked about it in a sense wherein you weren't fully healed and then you entered another relationship. Am I correct? That's what you
Yeah.
said. And I wanted to just mention a shout out to one of the guests that I had. She's a healer, all right, and part of her being solo and thriving is she now talks to women about, you have to heal. You have to heal when you go through that defining moment, especially when you go through a divorce or loss of someone. You cannot go into a relationship yet if you're not fully healed, because she did as well. She did as well. She wasn't fully healed. So, after I think a couple of years, again, she went through that pattern of like, not being able to repair the relationship or work on it because she admitted she wasn't healed, which is like, I think with me, I worked on my healing first. Like I didn't, I didn't go into a relationship yet because I wanted to heal myself. But, you know, I am not turning myself on love. I want to be in love again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm at the point right now, Sophia, wherein I've reached my genuine, authentic self. And I feel that I'm able to now to overcome whatever struggle or challenges. I make it part of me, which makes me resilient. So resilient for me is really embracing everything that happened in my life and just accepting it as part of my life,
Yeah.
taking it as a lesson and moving forward. So
And
I
identifying
like that.
learning. I always think, well, what am I learning from this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And so I feel like I feel healing is really depending on an individual. I don't think you need certain number of years
No.
to move on and have another relationship. I don't believe that because I can be healed in a year. I know myself and I know what I can offer, and I can say that I'm okay. Like I'm happy where I'm at right now. So I'm okay accepting, being in another relationship, which I know that, it's going to be okay because I've healed. I'm okay, right? So it's just nice that you were able to
Yeah.
explain the difference. right?
Yeah, and people think that healing has to take years and
Yes.
like there's a certain length of time, but actually the methods I use, like healing can take place quite rapidly. Is actually
Yes.
quite amazing how quick my clients can heal from things. And when we go through the work, what they think was the first event that created that negative emotion actually stemmed a lot earlier than what they believed it was. But when we heal the earliest memory that's created a certain emotion, it then alchemizes the
Right.
other events and times that we've felt that emotion. Um,
Yeah, and I also believe that sometimes love is better the second time around, the third time around, because you're able to like appreciate the things that worked in your past relationship and things that didn't work. You're able to like make it work, right? So sometimes I believe that hey, it's not over for us. Not just because we our first relationship, our first marriage didn't work, it doesn't mean we're it's gonna be the same for our next for our next relationship. I just feel that it's better because we are learning from whatever experiences that we learn, take away lessons from those relationships, right?
but yeah, one of the limiting beliefs I had whilst I was in my marriage was that I would be nobody without him. So that limiting belief kept me stuck in that relationship for way longer than I needed to be in it.
Oh, okay.
So that was one of the first beliefs I had to work on.
Well, that's so thank you for sharing that because a lot of people will probably resonate with that. You know what I mean? Like it's really up to us who overcame being solo to share with others what may happen if we still have that limiting beliefs, in our head. So it's really important we work on ourselves first. I agree with that. And I know you talk about self-love as part of your coaching as well. So we're going to talk about that in a little while.
Yeah,
So I just want to reflect that being resilient meant acknowledging that we need different it was something different in our life. We need to make changes because you never plan to have a defining moment in your life. Those changes should not be just to survive, but to become a better mother, stronger individual, and a provider for our family. And I feel that the key for that is accepting that change is inevitable
yeah,
and we need to adapt to it, and that's where true strength will come from, our ability to adapt, right?
yeah.
um let's talk about, now that we're solo, let's talk about balance because balance is gonna look different now because our new roles, right? And I know that you guide women through subconscious reprogramming while also helping them step into their most confident selves. Finding balance between healing past wounds, which we already mentioned, but we can talk about more, into their and actively growing into a new version of yourself can be challenging. It's not really easy for everyone. Now, Sophia, how do you help your clients navigate this delicate balance without feeling overwhelmed?
Okay, so yeah, it is important that we balance it. So because if we try and do too much and create too much success without healing our own
Mm-hmm.
self, it would lead into self-sabotaging behaviors. So it's important that we heal certain areas of our lives and our beliefs whilst taking aligned action towards our vision, um, and maintaining a fine balance with that. So, for example, when I first started my healing journey and then I started my coaching business, and things were going really well quite quickly, but my subconscious mind wasn't ready for success because
Yeah.
my I had a belief of like I'm not worthy of success, or because I came from a background of not having a great education and being told by teachers that I would amount to anything, or being told by my ex-husband I wouldn't amount to anything. Then when I started creating all this success for myself, um, when I launched my coaching business, my subconscious was running on a program that I wasn't worthy of this success. So I found myself self-sabotaging by
Yes.
dating somebody that probably wasn't the right person to be dating.
Yes.
But it's about what I said about acknowledging where you're at. So I acknowledge that this I'm self-sabotaging here because I'm successful in this area. I'm
Right.
now sabotaging myself in this area. So it was about correcting that behavior and then looking at my beliefs around why am I sabotaging what I'm been working so hard to create.
Right.
And yeah, it was the underlying and programming of I wasn't worthy of the success that I was in the like process of getting. Um, so yeah, so it's really important about having that balance so that it doesn't lead to self-sabotaging behavior. Um, and so I'm just having a think. Yeah, the process that I use with my clients is not about just talking about what's happened in their past, because
Right.
obviously there is a place for talking therapy,
Right.
not what I do with clients. And clients come to me and say that they have this belief because this happened and they'll
Right.
describe something to me in their adulthood. But actually, when I work with their subconscious mind, that belief is first being created in the first 7 years of their lives.
Nice.
All of
Right.
our beliefs are created between the ages 0 to 7.
Wow.
And then as we grow up, our beliefs are just compounded by our experiences. But our original beliefs are created between the ages of 0 to 7. So a client will come to me and say that she has low self-worth or this because maybe
Right.
she was sexually assaulted or something very traumatic in this part of her life. But actually, when we go back, the belief has stemmed from the age 0 to 7. And when we were able to work on that belief in the much earlier memory,
Right.
it takes the emotional charge out of the memories moving forward. So, for an example, like the feeling of guilt or shame,
Right.
um, like a lot of clients carry like guilt or shame, and because of experiences that have happened in their adulthood. But actually, if we heal on their first experience of
Right.
experiencing guilt or shame, if we heal that at their earliest memory, then when they think back about their past traumas in adulthood, they suddenly start to feel differently. They no longer feel that guilt or shame about those
Yes.
instances because the emotional charge, we've taken it out from the very earliest memory that it was created. So it's really, really powerful
Right.
stuff what I use with my clients. Um, and so we don't actually have to work on the most traumatic event that happened to them.
Yes.
We work on
Yes.
the earliest memory. But then I have clients say, "Oh, it wouldn't work with me because I have a terrible memory." But it's like, no, we don't. That's good because I don't want to work with your conscious memory. I work with
Yes.
the subconscious.
Is
So
that where your hypnotherapy comes in?
yes,
I love that.
so
I love
yes, we
that.
don't want to work with the conscious
Yes.
memory. And obviously, people are like, "How can you get to a memory from age 0?" But that's your subconscious is recording every second of your life, even when you're in sleep.
Right.
So um, yeah, so you don't need to have a good memory for, for the process I use.
No.
It's actually better when their conscious mind doesn't get in the way. Um, and was that? Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought then.
It's okay.
But yeah, so
I can reflect, and then maybe if we can. So there's so many things I want to say about what you said. So like just so meaningful and relevant. Like first of all, I like the way you're doing it. Like if you can just stay away from just reliving what happened, why you got separated. Stay away from me talking about the day when he passed away, or let's say talking about when you actually separate it. Like, yes, sometimes you have to because there's some people who need to vent, but at least I like the way that you're not really focusing on it because what will it bring you? Pain, agony, and suffering again. I like your style wherein you are more looking forward and going back. Very good reflection on my point. I I truly believe that childhood trauma has so much impact on who we are right now. And and like what you said, you don't really have to think of a particular memory, but sometimes it's just you get to say oh my god, I am like this, I'm so disorganized in my life. And then all of a sudden you will have flashbacks in your head on like certain thing that you did when you were younger. And oh my goodness, I remember that I was disorganized when I was in third grade. I couldn't organize my table, I couldn't organize my things, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, like what you said, subconsciously you just realize that I am like this right now because of what happened to me in the past, right? And I'm gonna do a shout out right now to you because I this is the last episode for this solo and strong, and you just gave me an idea for my next series. Um, I can. I will make sure mention. I'm gonna invite guests who really have strong childhood trauma that is affecting them with their limiting beliefs right now.
Yeah,
That is going to be my next series for March. And I just want to say thank you for that because I do know that childhood trauma can make a huge impact on you as a person right now.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
right? And the best way to overcome it is really invite powerful guests who can talk about real life trauma from childhood and really get more strategies or lessons so that our viewers can learn from it. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Oh my
but
God.
so some people say though that, oh, I don't have any trauma from my childhood. I had great parents. I had a great upbringing. But even the slightest things to children, when we're children, we are egotistical. We think everything is our
Yes.
fault.
Yes.
And so trauma is even created. For example, if you're like age 4 and you're in your
Yeah.
classroom at school and the teacher asks a question, you put your hand up and you say the wrong answer, and all the other kids laugh at you, that
Yes.
then makes you contract inwards, and
Shy. That's why you're shy.
in that instant you've created a belief like, oh my god, I got it wrong, or I'm not enough, I'm stupid. Like in
Right.
that split second, as a 4-year-old, you create all these beliefs about yourself. If everybody in the class is laughing at you, so that is still classed as a traumatic event, even though as an adult you wouldn't look back and think that was a
Right.
traumatic event. But that would have created, that leads us to go on to feeling we're not enough, good enough, smart enough, which, like you said, goes on to maybe being shy, not being able to
Correct.
be your authentic self, not being able to use your voice. So, just the tiniest little incident
Yes.
of trauma has such a huge impact.
Right. And then I think I had a podcast where we talked about this briefly, and I must admit that I don't like I had a pretty good childhood, like growing up. Like I had good role models for parenting. Like my parents were, were together. I one of those fortunate, I never saw them fight, and they really had good expectations for us. And so I did explain to the other podcast guests that, look, I can still use my childhood experiences and be who I want to be right now. So it doesn't have to be childhood trauma. It could be what happened in my life when I was a child that made me successful right now. You know what I mean? Because who you are right now because of your experiences in your life. Meaning going back to when you were a child. So it doesn't have to be you when you talk about your childhood, it doesn't always have to be your trauma. Wait, trauma is negative, right? Is there going to be what's the opposite now? Childhood, what can I say? Like childhood memories? You know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't have to deal with just the pain. We can talk about the good things in our life when we were a child and talk about it, right?
Yeah, so by doing that, by thinking about the positive things about your childhood, I mean, for me,
What
that's
would I
quite a
call it?
difficult thing, but that does then help. If you can be grateful about the good times and the positives that you had when you were younger, then that is going to create new neural pathways in your brain to continue thinking positively going
Yes.
forwards.
Like briefly, my I lost my dad when he was only 49, so I was only 11 years old. Then when I was 20 or 19, I had a brother who had a heart attack cuz like heart problem runs in in our family, who literally passed away in my arms, like like so those things made me overcome pain right away. I think that's also the reason why my grief with my husband was not that long, because I already went through the hardest part or in my life, which is losing someone you deeply love. I lost before my husband passed away. I lost, like what I said, when I was a child, my dad. I lost my brother, and then 3 years ago, I lost another brother. So I feel like when it comes to grieving and like accepting the fact that somebody has passed away, I feel like I experienced it already. That's why when my husband passed away, yes, it was traumatic. Yes, it was sad, but I kind of knew what it was going to feel like because, again, of that childhood experiences. So, like what you said, I like what you're doing, wherein you go back to childhood trauma, and your hypnotherapy might help because you might have, like what you said, you do have this client who said, "Do you really think I can remember what went through like years ago?" That's where you come in, just to support them, because some people might not know. They don't even know who they are right now. So it might be hard for them to go back. It might be that traumatic or is that bad that they don't want to remember it anymore,
Yeah,
right?
but I have like the tools and techniques that I use. I
Yes.
get directly to the memory that we need to work on that is causing the behavior that they want to change um, when they come to me. And
Yes.
so another belief from childhood is if a parent leaves you at a young age,
Yes.
um, that will create a belief in you. Because again, like I said, children are egotistical and they think everything is their fault. So if you have parents split up from a young age, you take that on as I'm not lovable or I'm not
Yes.
worthy of love. And when we have that belief in us, that's when we attract relationships that aren't necessarily healthy for us because we have the belief that we're not worthy of true love. So we'll just settle for whatever relationship we end up in.
It's so, I love what you just said, because a lot of relationships are suffering now, and it's a lot of them. It's because of, like what you said, that the things that they saw when they were growing up, they see it in their parents. So I know this might cause a lot of like, might add to like some, some beliefs here. One of my guests, he or she, both of them said that separating or like that divorce part actually became more positive for them. Yes, do we want that to happen? No, we all want a happy family, right? We always want to keep our marriage or our relationship together. But if it comes to a point wherein the children are already affected and it's you're not being a good role model for them,
Yeah.
one of them said it was actually the best thing that I did in that moment, because I can finally say that I can I can find happiness. I'm not always, fighting. And I can actually present a good life for my daughter at that point. That's what he said, because they were able to work on co parenting successfully. The way they co parented was amazing. They were still part of each other's lives. And at the same time, they had respect for one another. So the child, their daughter, was just, they he thinks that she's okay despite the circumstances, despite the separation. They were still able to make it work. So like I said, I'm sure there's going to be some people, no, why are you saying that? Of course you want to be together, of course we want that, but if things
Yeah, we
don't really
get to a
work
point
out.
where you just can't. Not
Yeah.
the relationship's not right. It does more damage
Right.
than it does good.
And I know some viewers, it's not the first choice. Of course, you want that. It's just in case it really, really is traumatic. And you know what I mean? I agree with second love. I agree with, like, like a second chance in life or in love, right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, let me talk about your hypnotherapy, because there are still some people who are so dependent on the doctors, the normal doctors, um, you know. But nowadays, people are into natural healing stuff. You know what I mean? They don't want like medicine. They don't want any device when they're sick. So honestly, hypnotherapy is a good one, because you're actually, I think of hypnotherapy for me as simply meditation, deep, deep meditation. right? Just guided. So if people are scared about hypnotherapy, maybe you can enlighten them on maybe the benefit right now, so that when somebody is like, if I have a viewer or audience listening, they can consider that at the moment, because it's not something new yet. It's not something that everybody is like practicing now. So maybe you want to give us an idea of the benefit or what it is truly about.
Yeah, so it's not just hypnotherapy that I do. I use a method called belief coding as well, and other tools such as emotional freedom tapping. So it's a blend of different tools that I use within my healing to really get to the root cause of a client's behavior that they want to change. So it really is the most powerful tool that I've come across. So with me, within 2 months of me doing this inner work using this method, I was able to completely come off antidepressants that I'd been on most of
Wow.
my adult life, and now it's been nearly 3 years now, and I've not been on antidepressants. Like, and that's ran in my family. All my, don't know if they appreciate me
Wow.
saying this, but most of my family have been on antidepressants most of my adult life. So I've kind of broken that cycle now.
Wow.
And so, yeah, from dealing with my deep rooted subconscious beliefs. Um, and so, like many people try and create positive changes just from willpower and trying to have positive thinking, positive affirmations alone, but they can be, you do just revert back to old behaviors if you continue without working on your subconscious beliefs,
Right, right.
because our subconscious is running the show 95% of the time. We are running off pre-installed programming from our past experiences.
Right. I love that. And just like what you said, you totally feel that you were completely healed and you didn't need medications anymore. You know what? Can I share with you, when I went, um, the death of my husband became my driving force to self-care, self-love. You know what I mean? I just really woke up at one day and just didn't really like what I saw. It wasn't just because he passed away. I feel like even, during our marriage, sometimes you forget about yourself because there's so many things that you're dealing with. Like, my husband has always been sick since we met. He was always had this heart illness, and it's just complications after complications. So I came to a point wherein I lost myself also. You know what I mean? In the process, that after, when he passed away, it really became the driving force for me to now. I want to be me. Like, I want to first take, I want to now have this chance to take care of me. And you know what I realized, Sophia, that after I went through the self-care self journey, I healed faster. I really healed faster from the grief, and I was able to accept me, the ugly part of me, my limitations, the doubts that I have. I was able to overcome, and you know what? Even my health, even my medical health, like, I made sure that I'm not just well, emotionally or mentally. I wanted to make sure that I was physically well, so I went to my doctor, all specialists, and I had nothing. I'm not that young, and I'm in a perfect medical condition. So I feel like when you are really happy with who you are as a person, you don't need medicine. I never used medicine. I was never dependent on medicine during my grief, during my loss. I just feel like you can heal yourself without medication, without gadgets, without machine, if you have that love in you. You know what I mean? I just think that that is so much powerful than any other methods of
Yeah.
what,
So yeah,
right?
I was just reading back from a message from one of my clients earlier.
Yeah.
She seemed to have everything. She had a really good job that she loved. She was about to marry like the man of her dreams. But she's like, Sophia, there's still deep down inside me,
Okay.
I feel this emptiness. And so we worked on that. And what the memory that came up was actually not her memory. It was when we're in our mother's womb, we
No
absorb,
way.
we absorb emotions that our mother carries. Um, and these are where my clients have the most powerful shift when we when we get shown that this emotion was first created in the womb, that's usually when my clients have the biggest shift. I love doing those memories that come up for the womb. Some people think that's a bit woo woo, but oh my gosh, I've seen so many transformations from when I work with their mother, like in the womb, well, them in their mother's womb. Um, and I was just reading back through my client's message. She's like, Sophia, like I used to criticize and scrutinize myself when I'm in the bath or looking in the mirror. She's like, now I love every part of myself and I cannot wait to put my wedding dress on. Like before coming to me, she wanted to get married, but she
Uh-huh.
hated the thought of putting that wedding dress on, everyone looking at her. So yeah, doing this work and working to be
I
able
love
to
what
look
you're
at
doing.
yourself in the mirror and love who you are is just so powerful. And then she was able to feel. She was like, I don't know what's happened or what you've done. It was blooming magical, but I feel so fulfilled now, and that emptiness that I felt all my life has just shifted.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what
Yes.
I weigh or what I look like. I love myself now.
Yes.
And
And
because then she began to love herself, she naturally stopped eating as much as she was because she started to wanting to look after her body.
oh,
She
that is
wasn't
so
sabotaging
nice.
herself. So yeah, self love is just, it is so
So
important.
powerful. And okay, so many things you're saying that are just
So
so amazing. Okay, so if I have viewers who are pregnant or planning to be pregnant, just listen to what Sophia said, that you can actually have trauma or a good experience while still in your mother's womb. So if you are pregnant right now or thinking to be pregnant, take care of yourself. Make sure that you are in your highest self, that you are in your most authentic self before you plan to get pregnant, or if you are pregnant at the moment, because your child will. You are what do you call that? You are creating the life for your child even at that early
yeah,
age.
that fetus absorbs your emotions. So if you have, so for example, I do work with women who've been in toxic relationships and bad
Yeah.
relationships. So what I would advise now, if you're pregnant and in a situation that the relationship, just constantly take it back to your baby. Are these thoughts
Yes.
serving my baby? Like, and try and be as positive as you can, because these worries and the anxiety, your baby absorbs that, and then
Yes.
they're going to carry that into their childhood and adulthood. So, but yeah, when I work with clients, a lot of us, I've had those where I've worked where I've been in my mother's womb, and yeah, just the shifts that it creates is, it just takes such a huge weight from you when you've been able to unleash the burden that your mum has put on you. Not that they were consciously doing that, but
Yes.
obviously. um,
And so Sophia, I've worked in the field of education for 30 years. So I've been a special ed teacher, I've been a regular ed teacher, I've been an administrator, and a lot of the kids that I find, so I also deal with group of like emotionally um EBD, emotional behavior disorder. So this group of kids are, they have like some oppositional defiance disorder, like they don't like follow rules. Some of them are aggressive, some of them have anger management, some of them really have they steal, they do things that they know they're it's bad for them, but they cannot help but do it. And you know what, the similarities that I found out, that I kind of now will say why these kids are manifesting these behaviors: the past, their maternal mothers. And I looked at, sometimes you have to talk to the social worker, right? And I find out that, let's say, Bobby's mom was a drug addict, or Emily's mom was dealing with manic depression. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really, like what you do to your body, or how you are physically, emotionally, and mentally will really have a big impact on your child. It could be before they were born or even growing up. So it's really so powerful when you take care of yourself prior or during pregnancy, and even after. Just, just giving these kids like a safe space, family. That's, I know it's hard, but it's very impactful that you are who you are right now because of what we go through in life. So, like what you said, if you don't break that right cycle right there and then you're just continuously gonna take it with you for the rest of your life, and it's gonna be harder to manage. You know,
Yeah, so it's about breaking these cycles now. As as I work with clients, we're breaking
it's yeah.
like
How do you help
generations
them?
of cycles. And
Yeah,
we are all energies. Also, you're saying about these children, the
I like that.
behavior problems that the children have is they pick up on the energy. So if their parents are vibrating in the energy of anxiety, or so it's not just about the behavior they witness, is the energy that they feel as well.
Oh, so you work on the energy in
So yeah,
order to, oh, wow. Wow,
so
very
yeah, when we
interesting.
work with when we release trapped emotions that I work with clients, when we release the trapped emotions, it um, releases it from your energy field. So your energy is different. So you're able to radiate a different energy, and your kids then pick up on that different
Yeah,
energy, and then they
I love
behave
that.
differently.
And it's energy. Everybody has energy. So it's just something that you can work on, right? Like in science classes growing up, I learned about energy. So energy really exists. So what's the best way to deal with it? Manage your energy, right?
Yeah.
And just have a positive energy.
So yeah, we have like energy flowing through us all the time. And when we get these negative emotions, trapped emotions in our body, that blocks our energetic
Right.
field. And where I said we like contract when we've got all these negative trapped emotions in us, and we're not able to then vibrate the most positive energy off. So when we release the trapped emotions, we're able to radiate a higher energy frequency.
And do you know why I know that having a positive energy matters? Because I like talking to people. I really like talking to people. Like you could be a sales clerk, you could be Uber driver, you could be a waiter. I just talk to people,
Yeah,
and sometimes you know what, when you are so positive with your energy, you could see a change in them after talking to somebody who has such positivity. I just feel like
yeah,
I
absolutely.
just so why not? Why shine bright for everyone? You know what I mean?
You never know
I
what
remember.
someone's going through either, so it's so
Yes.
important to just be positive, kind, smile, and share.
And what do you need? All you just need is like have an open heart, open mind, and just be nice with your words or always smile. It's not hard. You know what I mean? Sometimes all you need to do is smile, be thankful, or apologize if you think you did something wrong. Like those are simple things that really can attract positivity to others. Like you don't know what people go through on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes they just need someone to uplift them. And it doesn't have to be a big upliftment. It just be a smile or like maybe a touch. Like you pat someone. I believe in that. You're like physically moving your energy to someone, and I think is that possible? It is, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's all possible. Absolutely, everything is energy. So,
Wait, all right, I'm so sorry, I'm sharing. Okay, so I had a guest one time, and we were still in the planning process. Okay, it's just texting and DMing, Facebook messaging, and she just sent me messages like, wow, I love your energy. You are an incredible woman. You are Wonder Woman. I need to talk to you after our podcast because I want to learn more about you. I want your energy without even meeting face to face. She sensed my energy.
oh
Is that
yeah,
and, and you know what? She's my friend now because of my podcast. She even said live on my podcast. I mean, pre-recorded. How Candice, like what I shared with you, she felt it. She felt our energy, my energy, and she said, I need more Candice in my life.
yeah. I saw that podcast actually. I know, I know who you're talking
Ah,
about.
thank
Yeah,
you. Oh, that is so nice. It makes me feel good. So, like what you said, a positive energy matters, can change lives, right?
yeah. Your energy is everything. So if you focus on the negative things, you're going to attract more negative things into your life. Whereas if you be positive, you're going to attract more positive people, more positive
Yes.
opportunities. Like, and people say, oh, it's not always easy just to be so positive. But you get to make a choice every day whether you want to focus on the positives or focus on
Yes.
the negatives. And there's
Yes. And
always
yeah.
polarity. There is just as many things to be positive about as there is to be negative about. You get to choose which one you focus your energy on.
Yes. I love it. I
Even
love it. And you
if you've
can't,
experienced loss, grief, whatever you've experienced, there's still always something to be positive for.
and you know what? You can't always choose the people that you collaborate with every day. There are really toxic people
Yeah,
out there. And you know what I do if I can't like really change them? It's not my right to change them, but if I can't influence them, no matter how friendly I am already, goodbye. I don't need you. Goodbye. I
yeah,
have no problem setting boundaries because it's like I don't want them to affect me. I'm happy who I am right now that I don't want anyone um what's that? Giving me bad vibes or just bad energy, you know.
but
And like
that's
I
it.
said, I'm already a nice person. If you can't handle nice, goodbye.
Yeah, that's it. When you have that self love and self care, you are able to put boundaries in place and decide
Yes.
whether people are right for you or not. And you do have that, you have your intuition, whether you know whether somebody's right or not, and you're able to trust yourself and not worry about whether you're going to upset somebody if you don't want to share your time with them because you
Yeah.
trust yourself and want to put those
Love
boundaries
it.
in place.
I love our conversation. Now let's talk about making an impact because we're already talking about so many things to change a person for the better, right? Now, your work isn't just about individual transformation. I know that it's about creating a ripple effect where women inspire others to rise as well. Now, Sophia, how do you see your coaching and your hypnotherapy work making an impact beyond just your direct clients? You know, like how does it become a ripple effect, or how can they make you make an impact, or they make an impact because of like the strategies
Yeah.
that were,
So
yeah,
it is such an exciting movement to be a part of, actually, because when I first work with clients, they don't they don't have the belief that they could start a business, or they wouldn't have even contemplated starting a business. They don't believe they have it in them to be a better mom or create finances where they can create financial stability for their children when they're on their own after coming out of a relationship. But then doing the work with me and working together, most of my clients have gone on to create businesses, either coaching businesses, crystal healing, Reiki. I've helped a lady who's gone on to do Reiki healing. So they've gone on all to do different styles of healing. And there's been other businesses as well. So I've had a lady that went on to do property. And within the
nice.
first year, she was nominated for 3 different awards and a Rising Star
Wow.
Award, um, which her property business was to help women fleeing domestic abuse.
Nice.
So her business was to source funding from private investors to then fund projects for women fleeing domestic abuse. So that
Wow.
had a huge ripple effect. So just from her working on her beliefs with me, she was then to go on to create this huge impact on housing vulnerable women who are fleeing domestic abuse. Um, so yeah, the ripple effect of women working on themselves is just huge
Yes.
because the things that they can go on to achieve, and then they're able to earn more income because they have increased their level of worth. They're not afraid to charge for the services that they offer, because they see value in what they do and they know how much they've invested in themselves. So they're able to make higher returns on their income.
Nice.
And they're also then leading by example to their children, whereas
Yes.
children at the minute are often stuck in schools and being told they have to learn a certain way. But actually, now you don't have to focus on subjects that you're not that interested in. It's about finding what you're really passionate about
Passionate about.
and going with that. And it's never been easier now to set up your own business. There's, as long as you network with the right people, you can get somebody to help you do every little angle of your business. You can focus on what you're passionate on. There's the tools and the people out there to help you on your journey. And so we're all rising together. Like, you're not alone in this world or in this journey.
I
So,
love that. And I guess the power of voice speaking, like that's where I found my strength. Like I wasn't doing this before. This was something new, the speaking industry. And I couldn't, like, look, I'm new in the speaking industry. Hi, are you there? Oh, you,
right.
there we go. So speaking career for me is pretty new, and it was so hard for me to get into like a speaking engagement. So, and I badly wanted to speak, right? So what I did was,
Sorry, my battery was
no,
up.
it's okay, it's okay. So what I did was enter social media and use my voice to impact people. So I don't know if you're able to go to my Facebook page. I show up every day using my voice. It could be voice could be written, written creative voice, or my videos, my podcast, or even me dancing. You know what I realized, that there may be, let's say, out of 100, maybe three or four are watching you, really watching you, and really resonating with what I'm doing, or really taking away some lessons from what I'm saying or from what I'm doing. And I believe that even if they're not liking my page or they're not giving me hearts or comment, I know that inside I am able to make an impact using my voice. And it's just powerful how, if when we do things in our life, if you have a purpose, which is me, I really want to make an impact. If that's your goal, then you know what, your authentic self will really show up, because all you really want to do is help other people. And I think with me finding my authenticity because of the self-love journey that I went through, it's just my best tools in order to show up authentically with my audience, just being myself. I'm not perfect, but I do have some experiences that I share with others. And I think, that's me making an impact, just being vulnerable and open and honest to them, not being somebody I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
And
and I think that's its impact for me.
once we show it's safe and okay to be our authentic selves, that then it
Yes.
helps others. And you said about you may only get one or two likes or three or four likes, but actually those that are in difficult places, maybe listening to you and being really inspired by you, but they don't have the confidence to press that like because they're not ready to be seen. So
Yes. Oh,
so
I
just
love that.
know
I
you're
love
having a
that.
bigger impact than you even know, because some people are just sat on the sideline watching, but they're not ready to be
Right.
seen yet by pressing that like.
I
Um,
love that so much. So that's why I don't stop. I am there every day I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook 2 pages, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, YouTube, because I feel like there are different audience based on the social media platform, right?
yeah.
And I really, really want to help people. I mean, I don't know. People might not believe you or not. People probably think everybody's after money or fame. No, I literally just want you to know that you can be who you want to be if you put your heart and passion into it. Because I'm just like everybody else before. You know what I mean? Like doing the normal things in life. But I am in front of social media, hopefully on a greater, wider scale in the future, making an impact. And I know anyone can be in this position. You don't have to be a speaker. You can be somebody that you're not right now. And all you need to do is really believe in yourself, have that authentic self, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you and I have really a big role to play, just really supporting women. Do you only support women? Do you also do men? Or is it
Um,
mostly women for now?
yeah, it's most. I've only ever worked with women, to be honest.
Okay.
It's
It's okay. All
not
right.
that I
So
couldn't work with a man, but I just, yeah, just.
I
Okay.
thought I would have a hard time working with men, but prior to the Solo and Strong series, my series was called uh, Men Making a Difference. I forgot the title. Oh my god, I forgot the main title, but it's like Men Making a Difference. Oh my goodness, they maybe you should extend because they are as powerful and as vulnerable and as open to sharing their life. You know what I mean? Like I never realized how I love that episode. And I didn't realize that men too are trying their best to fit in the society and to fight whatever battles they're going through in life. And just like women, they also want to succeed in life. So just a feedback. I didn't think I would connect with men, but they're good. I It was amazing. It was an
I've got nothing
amazing.
against men. I love men, but
Yes. Yes.
but just I
Okay.
think from what I've experienced, I relate to women more. So
Yeah. All right. So when I was sharing your bio, there was something that I needed more clarity for myself. You talked about the power of subconscious reprogramming. I kind of have an idea now, but if you can shed more, maybe strategies or stories, and you also talk about belief coding and hypnotherapy, which you did, and it focuses on subconscious shift, which can be life changing. So, for someone who has never experienced this type of work, can you break down, maybe like literally, whatever you can add more, how
yeah.
subconscious reprogramming works and why is it so powerful?
Okay, so our subconscious mind doesn't know what's true, what's real, and what's false. So when we think about our past and we go over the things that we've experienced, so for example, like a memory that causes us pain and upset, and our mind keeps reverting back to that painful memory. In the work that I do, if we visit that memory and change the ending to it, we then
Oh,
take away that emotional charge. So then when we think of that memory going forward, it no longer causes us pain or upset because we
amazing.
changed the ending. So I'll give you an example
Wow.
that I worked with. So the other day I was working with a client and we were working, and so we
Wait,
worked,
I'm sorry, you were working with
I was working with a client the other
a
day
client.
and
Okay, sorry.
we got to a memory of age 4 where she first experienced a feeling of guilt. And sorry, my son just came in. Yeah, so in that memory, we then speak to the child. So we speak to her as a third person. So we'd go in and say,
Wow.
with her subconscious, Maria, you're safe. We're here to help you. Would you like our help? So we always reassure the memory that they're safe to work with us. Um,
Wow.
and what she was experiencing that time was her dad and stepmom arguing, and she was feeling guilty that they were arguing over her. So she felt it was her fault that they were arguing. And it's about giving the child in that memory what they needed in that time, what they never received. So when I said
Okay.
to her, let's ask little Maria what she needs, my client chuckled and was like, she's saying headphones. And my client was about to move on. I was like, no, no, let's give her the headphones. So my client was able to visualize giving her 4-year-old self a set of headphones so she couldn't hear the
Oh my
argument anymore.
gosh.
And then I said, okay, now she's got the headphones and she can't hear the arguing. What else does she need in this moment in time that she didn't receive back then? What is it she needs? And it was a hug from her dad and to feel safe by her dad and reassured that it wasn't her
Oh,
fault.
wow. Wow.
And so we were able to allow my client to visualize that hug and that receiving that love from her dad. We allowed her to visualize that, and then is about embodying that feeling as well. So I got her to step into her 4-year-old self. It sounds a bit
Wow.
woo, and but she was able to sit there and feel as if it was happening now, that she was receiving that love from her dad and that reassurance from her dad that it wasn't her fault that they were arguing. Um, and then we were able to ask her memory, like, now she's received the headphones and the love from her dad. Is there anything else that she needs in this moment in time? And my client again chuckled. She's like, she's saying an ice lolly. And of course, as a 4-year-old child, you are so innocent. You do just want something like an
Yes.
ice lolly. You don't want to
Oh
hear
my
adults
gosh.
arguing. You just want something so innocent. So I was like, let's give her the ice lolly.
I love it.
And so now, when my client thinks back to that memory, as far as her subconscious is aware, that was a happy memory. She got love in that
Yes.
moment. She got an ice lolly in that moment. So that memory no longer brings her like that traumatic
Oh.
experience.
Okay, what?
And it dissolved that feeling of guilt, not just in that memory, but it's changed her perception now of, oh, I didn't need to feel guilty in that moment or that moment in my life either. And so it just changes your whole perspective by working on such an early memory.
Oh my God, I love it. Now do you work on virtual? Do you need a certain like gadget to go deep, deep, deep? I'm just wondering, like, are all your clients in person or can you do virtual as well?
Now all my clients are online, so now we don't need enough
Oh, that's
physical.
amazing.
I work with people all over the world online, so
Nice.
yeah,
Well, I want to make sure that when I share this post, like I have a lot of social media pages. I want direct link of your, so they can really, find you right away because that's powerful.
it's
When you
funny.
said you,
It's funny because I just assume that everybody knows this stuff because
I don't,
like the people that I work with and trained with, we all know this stuff now. I just assume that everybody, I'm the last to know. So it's nice to
I don't
see.
know if that's a UK thing, but I haven't met anyone here. I know I've had like a Reiki healer. I have some other things, but maybe because I maybe I wasn't looking for it, but maybe there is. But now it's, I don't know if America we have it, widely in America, but here you are. And I think it's very powerful because if you can't stop that trauma in you, it's how are you going to move on, right? And I love what you said that you can actually reprogram your life. Like my programming is I want to, because I used to have, when I was 22, I owned schools in the Philippines. So I programmed myself that when I move to America, that I'm going to either put up my own school again, or which I can't, it's too expensive, or lead a school. So I went for admin degree, admin education, and all the certificates to be an administrator in the school. I was programming myself, my head, my path to be a leader in the public school systems here. But because of this defining moment in my life, the loss of my husband, it became a driving force for me to just, I'm done. I love teaching, but I want something new,
Yeah.
which I feel like it's my way of reprogramming my life now to become a speaker. And because of this turn in my head or whatever, I'm a totally different person. I'm doing totally different things and I'm loving it. So I love what you said about you have the ability to reprogram your life. That is so strong. I like that.
When people don't believe in this, that it works, I say to them, well, think about what something in the past, or when somebody says, like your boss may say, I need to talk to you on Monday. And so then you're sat there worrying, like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What? And you start to make up all these
Right.
stories in your head about, and thinking about what you've done, and it creates anxiety and fear in you. So
Yes.
that shows you how powerful your mind is. It creates stories before you even know what's going
Yes.
to happen.
Love it.
So why, if you know that that is true, why wouldn't you believe that we can go back to past memories and change the ending? And so you say that you've experienced like loss with your husband. I've also worked with a lady who was suffering with low self-worth, and she felt immense guilt about getting on with her life after losing her parents. So we were able to work together and work on her last memory with her mum.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the ending, and she was uh, we asked her in that memory, her last memory of her mum, what is it that she needed from her mum, and she needed to hear from her mum that it was okay to go on and live a happy life.
Wow.
And that
Giving me goosebumps.
I called out like my spirit guides in, and if you believe in all that, but I absolutely do. So I called in her guides, my guides, and we called in her mum's spirit, and she truly embodied in that moment that acceptance from her mum that it was absolutely okay to live a happy life even without her mum physically existing now. Like I literally just watched the guilt like dissolve out of my client's body.
You know what? I love it. I love it. Like, you can actually change you. You can actually change who you are 100%. You know what I mean? And there's no, you shouldn't fear it. You shouldn't be scared, because being brand new, you get to like have a new path in life. You get to be another person, and sometimes that's the best feeling you can ever have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so excited for my next chapter in my life. Hey, am I saying that I'm happy I lost my husband? No, of course not. But I'm just excited to move on and pass through that pain and grief and have a brand new life. Why will I be upset, or why will I dwell with the past? I'm just looking forward. I'm going to have a beautiful life. I'm going to find love again. I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to have a happy uh career, because I am manifesting it.
Yeah.
I am me. That is my life.
And that is so inspiring that you can be in this place and energy now. So
I told you. I told you. I just don't know. I've changed as a person. I really found my true self. And I know you did mention something, like you mentioned a while ago, just now, something about the divine or your spirit.
yeah.
Okay. And you did mention something that might trigger other people. You said, I don't know if you believe in it, but I do. So here is my thought about that. People are different. People believe in certain things. If it doesn't work for you, will work for other people. But you cannot judge other people or control what other people feel and think and what they think is best for you. All right. So we don't want those people who are just, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? Because there are people who are just so, they're not used to it. Here, everyone's different. Whatever works for you, for me, and them are different. So embrace yourself, what you want your life to be, or who you want to be as a person, and just be happy. You know what I mean? Because like what you said, we heal differently. Uh we navigate life differently. So
And yeah, and you don't need to be spiritual or believe in spirit to do this
yeah,
healing work. But actually,
okay.
with my eyelash lady, I asked her if she would have a session.
Eyelash lady.
When I was doing my training, I asked her if she would have a session with me, and she was not open to spirituality at the time at all. But I asked her if she would have a belief coding session and for it to be recorded so I can send it in to get my accreditation. And halfway through the session, she got up. She said, "This isn't working for me. This isn't working for me. I'm
Oh my
sorry.
gosh.
You're going to have to get somebody else to do it." And I was like, so I had to guide her back down. But actually, she was feeling the overwhelm from the what was coming up for her. But I was able to get her into a place where she
Oh
was,
wait, it was like he was getting affected from the hypnosis.
yeah, and it
It
just
was
shifted
overwhelming
something.
for her.
Yeah, it was overwhelming for her. But actually, when I got her back in the zone, because she felt it wasn't working for her, but actually it was working for her, and she was scared of the shift that it was about to create.
Wow,
But
okay.
I was able to guide her back in, and by the towards the end of the session, she was chuckling, and now she's gone on to become a Reiki healer
Oh,
and
I love
on this
it.
huge spiritual awakening journey. And so she was my most resistant client, and she has just transformed so much since that
Oh,
session
I love
and the
it.
work that she's done.
I
So
love
yeah,
it.
you don't have
And
to be
like,
spiritual to start your healing journey, but it's surprising what it opens up to you once
and
you
you talk about energy. It could be I am gravitating towards positive energy, or this I'm staying away from negative energy. It doesn't have to be spirit or whatever you
start.
said. It could be simply energy,
Energy.
which
Yeah.
exists. Which exists. I love that. So if you don't want to just use that word, energy. I'm positive. I am positive. Believe me. Everybody that I speak with, if you're open to my energy, becomes positive. It really works. That's why I do what I do, because I know that people are just needing change. You know what I mean? And I want them
Yeah.
to know that you can do it. Two of my guests started their podcast right after they spoke with me, because they felt how I could share, make an impact by doing this. And they just loved it. And they started their own right away. And they attributed it to having this podcast, conversation. So, take what you can and, use it for your own benefit. Whatever you see, whoever you see on your social media page, take what you can. Take the energy, take the concept, take the lesson, and use it for your own good. I believe in that. All right. Oh my goodness. I I hate to end this.
Yeah.
I learned so much from you. I
Oh,
really
thank
learned so
you.
much from you. And I'll probably reach out to you more to get more, maybe for me, you know.
Yeah,
Um and
listen.
like I said, I want your links because this is something new to me, so might be something new
Okay.
for others.
Amazing. Okay, yeah.
Now, Sophia, I always ask one question for everyone. I know we talked about everything already, a lot of lessons from you. If there is one concept, quote, or topic that truly embodies your mission and the work that you do, and you want the viewers to remember you with or by, what would that be?
Hey, so to know that you're not broken or unworthy and you have everything within you to rise, heal, and step into your power of greatness.
I love that. So
And,
simple, but it's like true.
and
Like
when you
you can
choose yourself and commit to yourself and trust yourself, you become unstoppable.
I love it. Like you can be okay. I'm sorry. You can maybe you had time in jail, or maybe you made a mistake, or you made a crime, and if you come out, you can still be a whole new different person. You know what I mean? I love that. Or you can have like a past of like you were maybe a drug addict or something that you did in the past. Don't let that
Define
stop you from being another person. Oh, I love that. I love that. Very powerful for everyone. You know. Yay! I'm sorry. I love it.
yourself.
All right. So, Sophia, this really has such been a powerful conversation. You see me. I'm practically jumping off my chair. Before we wrap up, can you share with our listeners again where can they find you? Maybe like share your website right now, or if you have anything to promote or your business, can you share with us right now? Yeah.
Yeah, so my name's Sophia Lorraine on Facebook, or you can email me at info@sophiafullpotentialcoaching.com. And I have free resources and things on my website, which is sophiafullpotentialcoaching.com. And I have a book launching in May, so look out for that. Maybe we come on and
What
talk
is your
about
book
that.
about? You want to share?
So that's a book, is a collaborative book. So 10 of us ladies have come together who have all gone through adversity or some kind of trauma. So we've all written
Wow.
our own chapter each to help raise and inspire others to show that, okay, we were once here. So we go deep in sharing our story. And then we share tools in that book and to how you
Oh
can,
my God, that's another thing. Like the
yeah,
three authors in one. Oh my God, I better call the ones that I want to collaborate with. I love that. Oh my God, I didn't even think that that's a possibility. Wow, very
so
good. I
yeah,
love that.
so that's exciting. Then I do one-to-one work, and then I also run group programs as well. So group programs can be really powerful when you have
Yeah.
like a small collaboration of women
Okay.
all working on the similar things at the same time, because then you have that
Right.
community of and support of each
People.
other. So I love doing group programs.
I love that. I love that. And sometimes we empower each other. We learn from our stories and we learn from each other. I believe in that collaboration piece too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Um,
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a
Of course. Oh, thank you. And before we go, I want to leave our listeners. You're you're welcome. First of all, you're welcome. And I learned so much from you. I want to leave our listeners with this. Being solo doesn't mean being alone. Strength isn't about never struggling, it's about rising every time life challenges you. Solo and strong is about embracing our independence, our resilience, and our ability to rebuild. And at the heart of it all, it's intentionality. When we move with purpose, when we choose to face life head on, just like what you learned from myself and Sophia. And when we prioritize ourselves, we become unstoppable. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Intentional Excellence podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, feel free to share and like. Again, I want to say thank you, Sophia, to end my
Welcome.
viewers. Thank you so much. And until next time, stay intentional, stay strong, and keep striving for excellence. Have a good evening or have a good day, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.